Hello and welcome to the Incoming Video Podcast, the show that looks back at the week's historical miniature releases. This is episode 33, which looks back at the miniature releases for week ending the 5th of February 2010, and I'm your host Neil Shook. Well, a fair number of new releases this week, so a pretty high quality top 10 for you. And some big releases as well, several models in several ranges. So let's crack on. First of all, at number 10 we have a preview this week, actually, of things to come. Yes, this week, Gripping Beast announced that they will be moving into plastics, and they're starting with a range that they are very well known for, and that's Saxons. Now, Gripping Beast have always been an excellent figure manufacturer, high quality, so it's really interesting seeing them moving into the plastics market. It's great that they're going there with figures that they're very well known for. The Gripping Beast sculpts from Dark Ages have always been excellent figures, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with a plastic set. And Dark Ages seems a bit of a theme this week as we move to number 9. Accompany Heroes of the Dark Age, not a company I've been particularly aware of before, but they've released some new figures this week. And again, they've been finishing off some of their Saxon range. And here we see a figure on foot and also a mounted champion. Heroes of the Dark Age are a company that specialise in producing miniatures for a skirmish game. So they don't have a huge range of miniatures, but what they do have are very nicely done. Interesting stuff, worth a look. Number 8, it's back to Gripping Beast, this time from their Woodbine Design Company, who are specialising in World War I and more the Eastern Mediterranean. These are a couple of character packs for their British and Ottoman Turks. So as you can see here, some rather unusual choices for vignettes and poses. Again, as with most Gripping Beast stuff, really well done. Excellent detail and character in all the models. Number 7, and a big release from Wargames. Last week saw the release of a Fallschirmjäger box set, which I didn't really feature because I thought they'd released the figures before. This week, they've released all the figures individually as part of their reinforcements and support range. Now I'm featuring them here. I'm not 100% sure or not whether you've actually seen these before or not. I'm very much open to correction on that. But Fallschirmjäger are some of my favourite World War II figures, probably only second to British Airborne. So I always love seeing these figures, and the one thing I think I'd say about this range is that I wasn't as blown away with them as I thought I might be. I've always loved Bolt Action's 28mm figures. I really do think they're some of the best on the market. However, I think this release on the whole is mixed. There are some very nice sculpts here, but there are some very average ones as well. I think you'll agree, as you see them going by, some of the riflemen are very ordinary. A couple of the MP40 users again, not that brilliant. I do like the FG42 gunners, the machine gun team and the officers. They're probably the best of the lot. Can't deny that it's a good release on the whole, and as I said, it's always great to see Fallschirmjäger, but I'm not as knocked out as I was expected to be. So for me, this particular release is a bit of a disappointment. So number 6, we're back to Dark Age, this time from Wargames Factory, and here we see a preview of their Saxon plastics range. They're playing 2 box sets, and here we see examples from both of them. Obviously this is following on from their Vikings, and again, looking pretty good. It seems that Wargames Factory have learnt the lessons of their earlier releases, especially some of their first miniatures weren't received that greatly, but they seem to be getting better with each set they release, and these look really nice. As you look at some of them in close-up, I really would challenge you to know that they were plastic figures unless you're actually told. You know, I think the quality line has been crossed now, and plastic miniatures are almost as good as their metal counterparts. And I think these are a great example of that. Good stuff again from Wargames Factory, and it'll be interesting to see how the Gripping Beast versions measure up to these. Into the top 5 and a couple of new releases from Scabbard miniatures. These are for their French World War Army range. We've got 2 packs. The first is a 37mm trench gun. Now, not all of this is new. The commander figure we've seen before, and of course we've seen the pile of helmets and stuff before, but the crew of the gun and the 37mm trench gun is a new sculpt. Secondly, that we see their Bonne Chance pack of a trooper offering aid to a wounded German. Really nice sculpt this, I think. bags of detail, and it's one of these vignettes that you can hide away quite nicely in a display game. Scarab have continued to show that they are high quality sculpts as far as their World War I figures are concerned. It's more the same. Great stuff. Number 4, and this release is from First Corps. Here we see, following on from all their successor cavalry, we now start seeing some of the infantry appear. Here we see High Pacifist, Command and Legionaries, and also Imitation Legionaries, Command and Foot Troops for their successors range. Apologies if I've just mangled that pronunciation. Really good stuff again from First Corps. These look a nice set of sculpts. Pretty impressed with these. Top 3, and the first of a couple of releases this week from Victrix. Long awaited. They heard the news of these just before Christmas, and here they are. We have the French Old Guard. New plastic box set. Yet again, high quality stuff from Victrix. They really are going blow for blow with the stuff that the Perrys are producing in Napoleonics, and matching them in quality all the way down the line. These are no different. Excellent looking figures, great sculpts, great price. Where can you go wrong? Brilliant stuff. Number 2, and it's the Perrys. Following on from what we've seen last week from their War of the Roses range, they're also continuing to add to their range of American War of Independence. Here we see their latest releases of Americans and French. First off, I believe, is Lee's Legion. Then we have a couple of packs of French officers. Excellent stuff as always from the Perrys. What more is there to say? I think it's really interesting comparing what they produce pack-wise compared to something like we've seen from Foundry last week. Every time you see a pack from the Perrys, it's always different. They always seem to manage that great thing of being prolific and yet always being varied. Fantastic stuff again. Brilliant release. Which leads us to our number 1. And it's Victrix again. But this time, not plastics, but metals. These are their Portuguese cacadors, sculpted by the one and only Mr. Paul Hicks. The cacadors have something of a reputation from the Peninsular War, and these are a great addition to Victrix's Napoleonic range. Great sculpts, I think you'll agree. We have an officer's pack, a couple of packs of riflemen. It's really interesting to see these in comparison with the plastics. The plastics are great. You can see these are just that little bit better. Maybe just that little bit more character to them. That little bit better quality. Which is great, especially for a unit such as cacadors, where, you don't have very many of them. So you've got the possibility to spend a little bit more time painting them maybe. It's nice to have a set of high quality figures that can reflect that. Simply a very, very good set of models from Victrix. So there you have it, my top 10 for this week. You may not agree with all of it, and you may think I have some the wrong way around as far as their order is concerned. I was certainly thinking at one point that the Victrix Old Guard should be number 1. But while the Old Guard are great, I do happen to like the cacadors better. But it's nice to see a really good set of historical miniature releases this week. Far better than we've seen overall than in the last few weeks, I think. Sometimes the quality has been not great. Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much for watching. Before I go, just want to say thank you to Zach at Tabletop Gaming News, Bill at the Miniatures page. Without these guys' hard work, this show wouldn't be possible. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Happy gaming, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.